Hi guys, this is Breaker, and this is phase one of my daily, where I take a replay from the the casted section of the StarCraft 2 subreddit forum, and I'd like to go ahead and thank the uploader FluffyJr for giving me this replay. It sounded rather interesting by the title of it. I won't give away too much information for those of you who are subscribed to my channel and really like watching, but let me go ahead and give both players their introduction. In the lower right hand corner, spawning as the Zerg in the red trunks, I give you all NG ZenedoR. I'm not entirely sure what NG stands for, but perhaps, there is one clan that comes to mind, and that would possibly be Noobs Galore. I do not joke when I say this. I'm not meaning to bash when I say this. They are they are a Counter-Strike source clan that may also be spread across other platforms such as StarCraft 2, as you can very well see that I'm casting here. And then in the upper left-hand corner, spawning as our Terran in the blue trunks, I give you all our uploader, FluffyJr. Yes. Okay, and this morning I was doing a lot of casting. In the evening I like to do that before I go to bed, things like that. This morning I was casting the WCS EU qualifiers in Chinese. I don't think I'm going to have time to do it tomorrow morning because, of course, of finals in the semester and so on and so forth. I only have one final test to do, but I do have an essay that's also due tomorrow, and I'm about halfway done with it. So I figured I'd go ahead and, just cast a replay, take a break, and, get back to writing that essay. I'm also going to go ahead and continue with phase 2 of this daily, and that would mean me taking a replay from the front page of Reddit, casting it, and watching the results of it. Excuse me, not watching the results of it, but instead uploading it to YouTube, much like I will be doing this one. Now already we can see that there is the double hatch opener coming from ZenedoR, rather standard, along with a pool. I'm a little worried for ZenedoR really because he's not sending a drone to scout his opponent, FluffyJr, and this may lead to his demise. Playing on the Korean server and living in Taiwan, which is basically, basically the same server as Korea, basically taught me that every game that I play, I have to use a drone to scout. It just doesn't hurt to be skeptical. It doesn't hurt to keep a close eye on your opponent, things of that nature. But a lot of the replays that I do cast these days, ZVT-wise, very few Terrans, it seems, are going with double proxy racks. I did see that fail this morning in the WCS EU qualifiers that I was casting. I'm about kind of compelled to take some of the replays from the WCS EU qualifier that I did and, turning it into a replay pack and maybe sending it to you guys. Speaking of replays and WCS, hold that thought. The Reapers arrived. Alright, looks like drones are trying to do some damage. They're kind of getting hits here and there. No, wait, I'm sorry. The hits that I'm hearing are on the the drone hitting the SCV. Beautiful defense so far from ZenedoR. Really strong hold, but it looks like he may... Oh, he almost lost the drone. He's making one spine crawler, and he's going to be forced to cancel this spore crawler once this Reaper is dealt with. So it looks like for now his main concern is getting rid of that bunker, of course. Now a second Reaper has arrived to the party, and we can see that Reaper production is already stopped. That means FluffyJr is basically perfectly contented with what he already has. Now, what would be super amazing is if he could get a queen kill with it, with this pair of Reapers, but I don't think that'll be happening because there's already a spine crawler in the natural, and just excellent control in the main will be all that he needs. But I do want to highlight that there's also already double gas going down at the natural. It looks like we did have... oh, I'm sorry. I thought perhaps ZenedoR got a kill on a drone, but it looks like he's gonna get one here. Yep. And you've got a single pair of Reapers. All they need to do is hit a drone 3 times each, and it is done for. Reapers coming into the main. There is a queen here, of course, but they're gonna get a couple more drone kills. And now I'm just a little bit curious, how much of a read on this does FluffyJr have? He knows both of the gases are there, so I'm hoping he's aptly prepared for the offensive that is coming his way, because honestly I love to watch macro games. I like to watch lengthy games. But let's just see how this pans out. I honestly didn't check the size of the replay before I got it loaded into the SC2 client. A rule of thumb is if a replay is 70 kilobytes or higher and just a 1v1, then typically it could be somewhere from 15 to 20 minutes. Already we see Lair Tech going down. Interesting. Okay. And the Reapers are coming back, getting a few more drone kills. And it just seems like ZenedoR's micro has kind of gone lazy here. He did have to pull a few drones to try and scare those Reapers away. Queen, of course, was not used in that at all. And so far I want to say that, you know, FluffyJr has been doing a lot of damage with this. He's been doing pretty good. ZenedoR still just, you know, doing his best to hold off against that. And he's had basically no losses aside from a single SCV and the fee, excuse me, the 75% refund he got for canceling the bunker, I believe. Double evolution chambers going down at the front for ZenedoR. I think perhaps getting just a teeny bit over eager for what he's doing. Can't really tell. Oh wait, Roach Warren, there it is. Okay, so this is going to be a Roach offensive of some sort, I'm thinking. You know, ZenedoR realizes that he's taken just a little bit much damage in the past few minutes, and he's got to do something to return it, but he's also got to be very mindful of those Hellions as they do outrun Roaches. As long as there's adequate creep spread here, we're going to see our Terran basically, you know, in a very safe position. We already have +1 missile attacks and +1 Carapace going down, along with Glio Reconstitution. I'm thinking for this kind of a timing attack, I don't know, like, how long does it take for Glio Reconstitution to finish? Alright. The thing about timing attacks is when you're trying to make them, you have to kind of, you know, you have to basically perfectly time them out. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with getting the evolution chambers first, then upgrading them, starting the upgrades, the +1, while on hatch tech, and then going for a Glio Reconstitution upgrade a little bit later. That means they would basically finish up in kind of some apt time, if you will. Scan going down for FluffyJr. He's clearing away creep. He's already got Widow Mines set up basically to intercept any drones that try to take an Expo in the near future. This is sort of reminiscent of what I remember Beastie Cutie doing at the Beta Cup. That would be a Taiwanese-based tournament where basically Beastie Cutie was the only foreigner participating, basically the only non-Asian that was participating in the entire tournament. Now we have a huge lump of Roaches just moving out. I'm curious, is FluffyJr aptly prepared for this? He's already got one Marauder at home, and that seems to be it. Sorry about that. I did just get a TeamSpeak message. That's about it. And now ZenedoR is moving out with full-fledging force here. You know, is this going to do a lot of damage or what? There's only one Marauder there, and it looks like all these Hellions. Ooh, you know, I think there was more than ample time actually to go in here and get a lot of drone kills with the Hellions, but it looks like he made the mistake of pulling them back. We're going to see a lot of SCV kills here, obviously, from ZenedoR here, but of course there's a lot of Marauders. The first bunker has already fallen. I don't know, like, we actually see FluffyJr in a lot of trouble. He's already lost 22 workers over the entire course of the game. SCV is being pulled right now. The bunkers are all the way back to the natural, but even if you were to get the Marauders in them, you'd still have to deal with the Roaches that are getting into the main. There are Roaches getting into the natural mineral line, and just seems like, you know, Fluffy is really in a world of hurt. How much does he have left in terms of income? 21 SCVs altogether, as opposed to the 42 of his opponent. I would say it's even worth his time to perhaps move these Widow Mines into the main of his opponent right now, if not the natural. And finally, the Roach offensive is kind of being shut down. It's lost its steam. The numbers for the Roaches right now are far too low for actually, you know, FluffyJr to actually consider it a serious threat right now, especially given the fact that he's got 2 nearly full health bunkers at his natural. The only problem is this is going to force him to be just a little bit more contained. His opponent's got an Overlord spreading creep right here, and you know, this basically is going to force him to try and take this Expo. I'm not sure, like, if he's going to be able to or not. Putting creep on both will really help him out. By him, I mean ZenedoR, and behind this we see that, you know, FluffyJr is at half the workers of his opponent. If a third were to go down, he says Widow Mune is OP. Yes, yes it is. Looks like even a single Widow Mune can't kill a single Roach. Alright, now we kind of see Fluffy in a bit of a tough spot right now. His army count, as opposed to his opponents, is about even, but it's going to come down to basically the remax time. I'm thinking right now he might be in an okay position to kind of hold against this in the near future. Sorry about that, I should hit Control A sooner. But honestly, I think he's in a recoverable position. If his opponent got the third down just a little bit sooner, then that would have, put Fluffy in a much, much worse position. But behind this, what do we see from Fluffy? He does have a third ready to go, and it looks like he's probably going to try and float it over here. I'm a little curious. Does he know about the creep? He does. So he's going to have to do something about that Overlord that's spreading it right now. Killing the rocks here, of course, would be the first stage and the most essential stage, but I'm wondering if perhaps FluffyJr is waiting for the right timing. Perhaps he's afraid of an attack from this direction. Perfectly normal. A very legitimate concern. And both players just now are continuing to macro up, really. I don't know, one thing that I think would be very, I say, wise of Fluffy to do right now, since I think he's got a starport. No, he doesn't. He does. Is perhaps to, get a medevac drop going while expoing. That is, of course, what, this is putting pressure while expoing is essentially what all wise Terrans do, and Protosses do this most commonly. Protosses are actually forced to do this versus Zerg, if you will, essentially. And now, creep spread has been halted at the third, so now we can see that, this is probably going to take 60 seconds from the time that the Overlord was destroyed to actually, get all this creep cleared up. I'm not going to stay here forever and figure it out, but, of course, the sooner that FluffyJr can get that down, the better. Banelings now joining the Hydras and Roaches here. I never would have thought, let's wait and see how this next engagement goes down. I'm thinking this might be a rather legit composition, if you will. Now, the creep is almost gone at the third, almost 60 seconds later. So as you can see, guys, it's worth your time to spread creep. It gives your opponent a significant delay. Something that even I myself, as a Diamond League player, seem to be slipping up on rather gruesomely as of late, and this is basically an all-in now. ZenedoR is very well aware of that. Beautiful surround by ZenedoR, but I'm a little curious to see how this engagement's going to go. The Banelings are going to connect with the SCVs, not the Marines, which is actually rather critical. So they do hit some Marines, but it looks like finally FluffyJr has a lot of steam left over. He's got Widow Mines as well, so that's going to really do a lot of damage to the Hydras that are coming. ZenedoR just throws out LOL. He's on 4 bases right now. His opponent just got his third. He's kind of got his third. And it looks like we have ZenedoR in a position where he cannot really legitimately hold against this. His natural is going to be the engagement point, and of course the rally points from the third and the fourth. It's just not going to work out for him. Widow Mines making connections where they can, and it looks like we're going to see FluffyJr get the third, and get the natural, and then continue to do damage, push into the main. If he can get the tech in the main, then that's basically game halting, and I can't see FluffyJr coming back from that kind of, I can't see ZenedoR coming back from that kind of damage. Alright, so here we are, just waiting for that to happen, and there's reinforcements over here, but, they're stimming up, and it looks as though they're going to the third. Wise choice, wise decision. And now here we have our Terran throwing down a scan. He can see what's here, but of course there's no real way for our Zerg player to engage into this. The supply difference is now 79 to 73, and the army supply is actually strongly in favor of FluffyJr, even though, just look at his saturation right now. It's just absolutely trash, if you will, for now. Only 10 SCVs altogether. So it looks like many of them are stuck on gas. Where on earth are they? Are they with the main army composition? Some of them are, and it looks like, ooh, sick Widow Mine connections. Baneling's trying to hit what they can, but ZenedoR just, he leaves the game after that. So altogether, I want to say this is a very strong follow-up from FluffyJr, something that I wouldn't have expected a Terran to come back from, especially that quickly. But of course, I also want to attribute this this victory to a lack of vision by our Zerg player. I just want to go back and highlight something real quick. Where was it that we saw FluffyJr moving out with this kind of all-in with the SCVs and so on and so forth? Let's see. Okay, so hang on just a moment. I don't want to waste everybody's time, but There we go. So after he killed the Overlord and made his opponent think that he was going for an Expo, that was basically mind games, and that was brilliant, I must say, by FluffyJr. Scans going down, killing Creep Tumor. He's just like, okay, well, my opponent's gonna have too much vision of me if I go off in this direction. He's like, okay. He only had vision of this about halfway over here. I would say maybe it would be worth it to keep a burrowed Baneling, or just a single burrowed Baneling, or a few burrowed Lings along here for vision. After all, why would your opponent just randomly scan out here if he knew that he had basically held against your initial attack? Anywho, I'm just going to cut it right here since we know how this game went. This has been Breaker, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.